Hey guys, Banana here. Welcome back to another Watch Your Realms video. We're here today to talk a bit about Zerbus Matrix 1, which just launched this week. And it is probably the toughest content that we've had in a while. I don't think Abyss matches up in terms of the difficulty level. Nowhere near, because we normally see Vanilla doing quite well, but even he himself, it's not even halfway near the max chest, which is at 320k. So yeah, I think that's the struggle, I guess, that I'm seeing. Not the fact that the content is difficult, but given that with all A5s, we are only sitting at 120k almost, it doesn't look great. And this is by far the most the highest spender account in the whole of 6x. So if he's achieving scores like this, I'm pretty sure that 5x is not going to be achieving anything far from this. So it is worrying considering that, given the way the game mechanics are set up at the moment, it will take a massive rework on the content to actually get us to the 120k score. Either that or we are gonna have some insane units that come through that that can actually get us there. So we'll talk more about this when we get into the fights because there's something I want to show you. All right. So the way that Zerbus works is that there's 3 waves coming out, and the 3 waves after you kill them is gonna bring the HP bar to 0. And bringing the HP bar to 0 basically evolves the Matrix boss and gets you to the next phase. And in between those phases, there's a weakened phase where you can try to do as much damage as possible. So that's the 3rd wave now. In the earlier bits, it's a bit simpler. You can get by with barely any ultimates, which is what we're doing here. But once you see we get to the later waves, we're gonna have to save ultimates for each wave instead of the weakened phase actually. Not my best run. We can normally get to 7k with the weakened phase, but yeah. The autos are not reliable here as well because it's very dependent on how fast you kill each wave, and the next wave doesn't come out until you kill the previous wave. So there's a bit of RNG there because of that. And now we get to the weakened phase, as you can see here. And this is where you want to try to do damage, but you can see here, without Velara, it's very tough. I have no slow on this side at all. And now we move on to the 3rd phase. And this is time-based. So if you're stuck on a certain phase, the boss just does the chain fusion, which we might see in a bit here. And what happens there basically is that the boss does a very big one shot if you don't clear the mobs in time. There we go. That's the chain fusion. And we need to kill off the wave here in time. And yeah, once the boss goes into that relentless evolution mode, the weaken buff comes out, and this is where you try to maximize damage once more. There we go. So in case there's something that you don't realize is that the modes are pretty slow. In between each wave, you don't get the spawns instantly. They actually have to walk out one by one. So even with my current run, we actually get to the end of the timer when the RNG is good. We actually only managed to snag 40k. So Vanilla is doing the same. He has Velara. He probably takes advantage of the weakened phase a lot better. And even he is only getting to, 70k with that. So from us to get to 70k to 160k, it's gonna require either a freaking broken hero or the mechanics here have to change because the mobs are walking out and there's nothing we can do to speed that up. There's absolutely nothing we can do. You can see the last wave here, things are starting to hurt quite a bit. And yeah, we need to kill off these waves. I don't think we get to actually survive the chainless fusion here sometimes, which we'll see in a bit here. Yeah, that's the chain fusion. I'm gonna kill off a bit of the mobs here. 3 left, so not enough to take us down, fortunately. But yeah, we also need to kill off this guys ASAP. There we go. And you can see the timer's almost running out. We are at 30 seconds left. And this is probably the best gear I've got on this, guys. And there you go. Timer runs out here. Almost at 45k. That's pretty much it. I think that's the main gripe I have. I ran the timer down. I'm only at 1/4 of the score. Sure, I don't have Valara to actually get there, but you know, we don't actually, you know, see Valara being any much of a big difference to get us to that 160k hurdle. Like, it's gonna help us, but it's not gonna get us to 160k. That's very sure. And let's not even talk about physical phase. That is another nightmare in itself. In case you guys did not notice, almost most of the folks here are getting 45k, 40k at best, and that's with very high awakenings. So over here we have Liverpool Ardea. This one is an Ardea team with Nyx and Nurcha at A3. Definitely not gonna be at the same level of magic in any time to come. So we're probably gonna need 3x of the score to actually get there. And will better heroes help us to get there? Yes. But the way the game is designed at the moment, it's not looking very promising. Because I don't think we're going to get to 320k just because of some new heroes. You're going to need some change in the mechanics to get there. I think that itself is quite demoralizing. But all in all, with all that said, I have to say the rewards here are pretty good. Over here you have 11 items. Let's see what we get. Okay, this is 16, but the rewards here are obviously a lot better. We get the level 2 to 5 runes, we get Ancients and Divines as usual. We also get a bunch of the evolution gems, which we don't get at the moment. And if we go to 40k, which is what most average players can get, you can also see rewards are not too different, but it is definitely worthwhile to actually get this, guys. 320k was what most people were looking at, to be honest, because there's a chance for the Variant gem, the Transmutation gem, and 15 of the Ancient Recasting Hammer shards. So at the end of the day, it is free content. It is another thing to do. But at this very moment, it does not look good. I hope they reconsider the way that the mechanics are structured at the moment. And I also don't like the fact that we are kind of, you know, locked in terms of what heroes we can actually use. There's only so many things that we can run. Over here in Northerner, you need Liverpool and Ardea at high awakenings. And then on the Watchers section, you're going to need Nurcha at A3, possibly a Kigiri A5 as well. And all those are just things that I'm not really looking forward to because the raid ups have been terrible. But yeah, that's my rant. That's my take on Matrix. I think at the end of the day, it is free rewards. It's easy to get to 8k. It's not tough. We have the Asrin cheese as well. But I think the fact that to get to 320k, it seems impossible at the moment. I don't think that looks good. It just shows that the developers are not, you know, really considering how the content works and, you know, bring it from Forerunner and test server to the live server. Even with all the feedback that people have given, they've just not budged at all. Bear in mind, I'm not saying that we should be clearing 320k on day one. I'm saying that it looks impossible even if new heroes are coming. Because to get the score from 25% to 100% of what we see at the moment, it's 33% to 100% at the moment. It just doesn't look like heroes are what we need. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts on Matrix at the moment. There's even a meme running going on that, you know, zombie invasion is much more fun than Matrix, which I do agree. I haven't touched Matrix as much as I have, you know, dabbled with, you know, the zombie invasion at the moment. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.